tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey there, AfterBuzzers. Welcome back to AfterBuzz TV's Halt and Catch Fire After Show.
Season finale.
Season finale. We are so excited to talk about Season 2, Episode 10. It's the end. It's called Heaven is a Place. My name is Isaac Johnson. Hold on, Dave. You can follow me on Twitter at Isaac Johnson. Dave is so excited to introduce himself.
I was going to say, Isaac is showing the most chest hair out of this entire season.
Okay, Dave.
So we can tell it's the season finale.
How about you just introduce yourself?
No, we talked about maybe getting naked on the season finale. Obviously, you didn't want to take it all the way there. But
you talked about it, Dave. I knew you were going to be here. I wanted to give you something to look at.
And we can tell you shave your
What's your name, sir?
Very manly. David Abed here. I do not shave my chest. You can follow me at GoBlueDave on the Twitter. Dave Abed, D-A-V-E-A-B-E-D, on Instagram.
And we have a very special guest.
The specialist.
On the show today, Megan Hayes. You may know her as Alicia from the episode 1 of this season.
That's right.
Megan,
what's up, y'all?
How's it going?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good.
I'm a little, sad after that episode.
Yeah, like we said when we were watching, a very uplifting episode. Everybody got what they wanted.
It's a very special Halt and Catch Fire.
Oh, wait, no, this is Halt and Catch Fire. It wasn't great. I mean, it was great, but it wasn't uplifting, is what I mean. Megan, how did you feel about this episode?
Well, I mean, it was great. I totally called it that they're all going to move to California, didn't I?
You did.
You did.
We should have had you predicting him here all season.
Well, it sniffed of weeds. I mean, like I was saying, I can't remember if it was between season 3 or 4 that they all left San Diego. Anyway, but I thought it was great. The acting on the show is always just phenomenal, and the writing. But Joe is so frustrating and so heartbreaking and so everything.
Everything. Speaking of him being everything, your scene in episode 1 was with Lee Pace. So
it was.
Tell us about how dreamy he really is.
Oh, in real life, was the consummate professional, super sweet. Told me places to hang out here. We exchanged where he should hang out in Atlanta because that's where I'm originally from.
Nice.
He could not have been lovelier.
Oh,
and then also after we were all wrapped and said and done, I was like, I'm going to tell him that I loved him in Pushing Daisies. Did you guys watch that show?
Oh, no.
Of course.
He was great. One of my favorites.
Pie maker.
Yeah, the pie maker. So after we were done, I ran over to him, and he's 10 feet tall. So I felt like a 12-year-old being like, "Hey, Mister," grabbing it. Excuse me, Mister. And I was like, "Hey, I know everybody probably tells you this, but you were amazing on Pushing Daisies." And he was like, "Oh my God, no one tells me that. So thank you."
Really?
So,
I would have thought that came up more, but that's awesome.
I know, I love that show. It was so good.
It was. Dave, talk to us about how you felt.
I'm fighting a cold today, so if I sound less dreamy than normal,
please clear your throat right into that mic one more time.
My throat has been scratching. Yes. I thought it was, it seems TV loves depression these days.
Yes.
You think back to the 60s and the 70s, everything's feel good. Now, if it feels good, it almost doesn't feel like modern television anymore, unless you're Modern Family. So a lot of depression. I was reminded of True Detective in that I remember someone said, this seems like it's just the worst day in everybody's life. And this episode seemed like that, though it came semi-happy at the end.
It was uplifting towards the end.
It was enough uplifting for me not to be like, oh, these guys, too bad for them. But again...
Except for Gordon, that was...
Gordon did seem... that was one of my biggest thoughts. It's what's up? This whole season for Gordon has been so weird, right? His character just kind of did circles and circles and almost just a big downward spiral, and he didn't really go anywhere, right? Is that the first guy we're talking about? Yeah, Gordon.
We'll talk to him. I'd like to get my thoughts in.
Oh, okay. Well, 20 minutes later, here we go.
I want to hear your thoughts.
I've been waiting for you to stop talking.
Well, that'll never happen. That'll never happen.
Man, well, in talking about that, it was obviously not uplifting. I think that's, I mean, what we're talking, you're saying like, oh, old shows used to end with like a nice little bow on the end, like Full House or something. Anybody remember that finale?
Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, exactly.
Zach Morris didn't get the girl all the time, but eventually he did.
Right.
Of course. But it's just, I mean, it's like real life, you know? Like, you rarely get moments where there's like, hey, everybody wins.
Sometimes you do, though.
Sometimes you do, but not all the time.
It is like real life, but it's like the darkest underbelly of real life.
Absolutely.
We're like, hey, by the way, a fair abortion. Who's worse?
Yeah.
Like, this is...
Speaking of that, Gordon tells the truth. So
And Donna does it. She withheld it.
I predicted that.
I predicted that, Dave, actually.
No,
you said no, she's going to tell him. She didn't.
I said she's going to tell him?
No, you said she is going to tell Gordon about the abortion, and I said absolutely not.
I don't remember saying that.
Well, you don't remember a lot of things, Dave.
I remember the most important things. I don't remember that.
Okay, well, let's get into this. Let's talk about Gordon. He's going to group therapy there. He seems to be taking it very well, in stride, just very cooperative, or not. It seems like, although I will say that Gordon, the character, got to do a little bit of acting, and I'm just going to say a little indicating for me. You know what I'm talking about here?
When he's acting out the group therapy?
The guy, the group therapy leader there asks him what's going on about the glasses, or
well, I think that was the point, obviously,
what was your
unless
low
you're being
moment?
sarcastic.
I am being sarcastic.
I can never tell. You have that stone face.
Well, Dave,
it's all the drugs.
just full of compliments today.
I thought, based on last episode, that was going to be the moment where he was going to, some reason, bring up the affair, and that's how I thought in that moment. That's when Donna was going to figure that out.
You thought he was going to bring up the affair at the group therapy?
Yeah, I thought it was. He'd be like, I can't find my glasses, and then break down and like, oh, I can't get over this guilt I have for the affair. Obviously, that didn't happen, and it just was a big symbol that he wasn't taking it seriously.
I honestly thought he was never going to bring up the affair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, since it was like that one moment.
Yeah.
It just seems so
reeling
big
from his illness.
to end the season with both of them not revealing it. Just seemed too. I don't know. It's such two big moments in the show for neither of them to be revealed.
And that's a little bit why I sort of predicted that Gordon would say it. Also, just kind of a bit about his character. I just saw him as the kind of guy that couldn't keep that in forever.
Right.
I didn't think that it would come out so aggressively when he did it.
And it really only came out because of the kids.
Yeah.
Daddy has a secret. Oh, there's those freaking kids again.
Yeah, well, she wants to know what the fight's about, why are you taking the girls to stay in a motel or whatever. But, yeah, I don't know. I thought that, I mean, obviously it's good that he told her, but it seemed like he kind of moved past it kind of quickly to be like, look, it was a mistake and all these kinds of things.
Right.
But, you know, I mean, in real life, hopefully this never happens to any of us, but...
Well, you're the only one married, so just hopefully it doesn't happen.
Well, there people can cheat on each other who aren't married as well, Dave.
Just the private talks I've had with your wife. I don't want to hear any more about it.
Well, what have you been talking with my wife?
Well, she told me a lot of things.
Okay, well, let's hear about that later.
So cryptic.
Yeah. What's my wife's name, since you've talked to her so many times? Yeah. It's about as many syllables, but not even close.
Right.
She's not an actor.
That's assuming now.
I know
Yeah,
that.
she's also not an actor. Thank God.
Smart move,
Yeah,
Isaac.
accountant.
One of us had to be the responsible one.
That's right. Gotta have one, man.
Yeah. So, well, let's talk about him and Donna, because, well, we are talking about him and Donna, but what do we think of, though, of the scene there when he's kind of coming clean?
Well, it did. I agree that he's like, I cheated on you. By the way, it's your fault. Tough tactic.
Not that it's your fault. He was just kind of more like, I didn't mean it. It was a mistake. Which
He did make a good point, though, about her, because the whole season, I'm like, she's being very absent from the marriage. And every time he is trying to get close to her, because it's not so easy to be like, hey, I'm dying or I'm sick or whatever. And every time he tried to reach out to her, she was always completely unavailable, which I found frustrating for him.
Yeah.
And I really do love Scoot McNairy quite a bit. So
he's awesome.
I might be biased.
No, he's great.
He's amazing. So
when you hear, I mean, when you listen to any love line show or something, that most times people have an affair is because they're feeling they're not getting something from the marriage. So I thought it was like very clinical reason that he had the affair, and they obviously had to fast track them getting, resolving it for the purposes of time on television.
Right.
But my biggest question was, I liked his way of just letting it all out, but I was really curious to see how Donna would take it in, and she seemed to, I don't know, take it the best that she could, kind of.
I don't know how great it's taken, and if you're like considering divorce.
Oh, of course you're gonna. I mean, wouldn't you consider divorce if your wife was like, by the way, banged a dude?
Yeah,
his name was
absolutely.
Dave. Then you'd be like, I'd never get
Or
back
Megan.
with you. Right? Or
What?
Megan. What if she went by? You don't even know.
It would never happen. She's very loyal.
That's what they said.
Well, no, they had been rocky for a while.
That's true.
Yeah, no, my marriage is not in a rocky state.
Great. No,
this
no
is
one thinks it
also
is.
the Halt and Catch Fire show. So
Right,
let's
well-
talk about that.
It's important we
AMC, not
personalize
live.
these things.
Is it?
Yes, that way the people at home can better understand. So it was weird that she gave him this ultimatum in the house, though. What did you think about the ultimatum?
It makes a lot of sense. You find out that your partner has cheated on you and broken your marriage vows. I think an ultimatum is, I mean, personally, I don't know that I would give a second chance, but
Right. Well, do you think the reason she does, though, is because she knows she's holding this secret inside, and she thinks, well, maybe we both made mistakes, and this does deserve a second chance?
I still think it's not okay of her to have not said anything about that.
yeah.
Right.
Well, it's interesting too that he's like, what is this, like blackmail or whatever he calls it? Or
Extortion.
Extortion, yeah.
yeah.
Extortion in a playhouse.
Yeah,
Right.
This is maybe the first
worst
time
kind.
that's
It's the
ever
first thing. It's
happened.
an AMC first, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it makes some kind of sense for her to try to find a solution and be involved with him again. And at the very least, they would be working together. She doesn't like that they've had like one person up, one person down. Let's throw all our chips in here together. But I don't like that she didn't tell him. I mean, I did predict that, but I don't like that at all.
And her ultimatum wasn't an unfair ultimatum, I don't think. It was it was all in an effort to repair things and make things better, so.
Yeah, really interesting stuff there. Well, the first person that she goes to, we'll segue into Cameron here, is Cameron after she hears the news about this, which is an interesting person to go to.
I really like that moment because
Yeah.
I think we've all had moments in our lives where something bad happened and you don't know who to talk to, but you just kind of pick someone and like, I have to get this off my chest right now.
Of course.
And you really felt that in that moment.
And she
it was a
really
good
is, yeah.
moment because even you there had that moment with Cameron in the beginning of the episode where she was being her old self, as you
course.
commented audibly during the episode.
Yeah.
There she goes again, emotional Sally.
Yeah,
And
they didn't call her Sally.
Right, but you meant it in your eyes. I saw it. And then
How many friends does Donna have?
That's what I was
Right.
going to say. She really doesn't have another person to go to. So
Yeah.
this is the person that she would go to. And surprisingly enough, Cameron actually gives her some fairly solid advice, at least we'll call it. At least she is saying, I don't know what it's like to be married, but we can start over here in California. This is kind of at least a good way to go. Any thoughts?
It's rare that Cameron makes things not about her
Right.
and her angst, so I thought that was great that she actually, tried with Donna.
Dave?
do you think and I'm just thinking of this now, do you think her relationship with the Tom situation and maybe some inner turmoil she was going through with that had some impact on how she was better able to maybe understand what Donna was going through in that moment?
It's possible. I didn't have that specific thought. It did seem like she finally gave Donna a little bit of like, I can't do this without you, which is a very good, honest moment for her to have because her sort of character arc this whole season has been like, why is everyone against me?
Yeah.
And like, they're not against you. Even in this episode, Donna's giving her some fairly solid advice about working with Telenet there. Like, we can't afford to do this on our
Right.
own. We are going to have to answer to someone. She gives that whole like Navy submarine analogy that was kind of over my head.
Well,
Yes.
and you right. That was it was a little esoteric. But I mean, we
Something
have
about
to,
semen. I don't know.
Hello.
If you want to drive a submarine, you have to join the Navy.
Right.
Yeah.
I think she's
I mean, who hasn't
Just-
said that in a fight?
yesterday.
Or yesterday.
This morning.
But we have to like Cameron's character, obviously. So I think these
I love
these are the moments when she gets grounded, and again we're kind of renewed in our faith in her and her humanity. So
Well, and also it's fun to watch what a train wreck she is most of the time. And then
fun
also,
but frustrating.
frustrating,
Yeah.
definitely. But also she fesses up earlier in season 2 that community is the most important aspect
Well,
of
we know that,
Mutiny.
yes.
Yeah, so at least she admits that to Donna earlier.
I think she sort of finally relented to that position
Right.
because she wanted the games to work so well. Which, by the way, they're developing a Mutiny game there. We've got a little 8-bit Lev, which is kind of cool to see.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't see that? Anybody?
Yes, I saw
Anybody
it.
else watching this episode?
Wait, what?
Wait.
Yes, I did know. That was
Wait,
a computer game they were playing.
They were playing a computer game.
No, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like in real life.
Oh, no.
I was like, really? That's crazy. Just kidding.
No. Although I believe,
I remember them watching.
I think last season you could play one of the games on the website that they developed. I'm not sure, but no. In the show.
Quick question from the beginning of the episode. Mutiny was having a lot of like success again. So are we just to assume that because of the other companies, Jacob's company went down with this virus, that everyone then just flew back to Mutiny?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, like their West Group is screwed.
Right.
That's what I wrote down.
Yes.
Another word that rhymes with ucked. But
Right. Mucked.
Yes, mucked.
They're mucked.
Yeah, right in the muck. But what do we think of this plan of hers to... I mean, I guess it works out in the end that I can't remember, all these tech things really fly by me, but of moving to California, buying their own like diesel sub in the analogy there. What do we think of that?
What do we think of it? I mean, I don't know. It seems like kind of a Hail Mary. Everything is going well, and then... I don't know, was that really like the crux of them not being able to... This seemed like... I don't know, this seemed like a problem that they had kind of been dealing with, but was it really their biggest problem?
As a company, yeah. I mean, I was fairly frustrated with Cameron not listening to anyone's advice about...
Right. But Cameron's so good at getting in over her head.
Right.
And I feel like this is just one more venture where
Yes.
they're going to be
Yeah,
in over their head
exactly.
and how they scramble.
It could be,
Yes.
but at least for the moment, it seems like it is a solution to be sort of completely autonomous as a company.
Oh, it makes sense.
And also where they can't be screwed again by another bigger company, telling it's trying to raise the prices on them already. I don't know how long it's been, but seems like things are working. They've got their community back. They've got the new game there. Even Yo-Yo's back, which I was excited to see him back.
That's the big dude?
Yeah, the big dude. And so, yes, it may be something where she'll fall on her face again, but I don't know. Hopefully not. It just seems like it's at least she was finally insistent about something that could actually propel them forward rather than something that is just where I don't.
I mean, she's
like
a
that no one
huge
else
risk
played
taker.
with.
That's what she does.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe this is a risk worth taking. Who knows?
Yeah.
One risk that she's considering taking again is Tom. Good
I
old Tommy.
know. I'm
I-
Team Tom for sure.
I
he's
have to
great.
say...
I love Tom.
I applaud his decision at the end to not go.
Is it necessarily his
Well,
decision? Is he going to pull a good
let's
bull
just-
hunting and
It's
like
left
hop
o-
in his car
it's
and
left
drive to
over
San?
beef. Great reference, by the way.
Go see about a girl.
Yeah. You will see about her, Tom.
Well, let's take it on what we know now, which
Okay,
is that he
sure.
didn't go. And yeah, I mean, she screwed him. He lays his heart out on the line. She says no, and then he leaves. She doesn't give chase ever. And then a month later, she just walks in and says, "Give up everything. Come take another chance on me, and come take another chance on me."
I mean, a month is really not that long of a time of a break. I mean, I know you're like it's a month later, but it's just a
It
month
is if
later.
you break someone's heart and then don't talk to them and then just come in and say, "Hey, we're moving." Come. Then what is he? Then he's just like a little puppy dog following along.
Well, no, that's the best Cameron can do to eat crow. I mean, she's doing the best she can.
Something's not good enough for Tom.
Well, no, obviously not, because he doesn't show up. But I'm just saying, in the
Good.
grand scheme of things,
Would you
1
go?
month is.
Okay, so if some guy broke your heart and then you left your girlfriend, your boyfriend, and your job, and then a
Dave
month later
has
this guy's like,
no strong
"Excuse
feelings
me,
about this, by the way."
Excuse me. Anyway, minus the breaking your heart and you left the job. Come to California with me. Let's start over. You would just say, okay.
I would consider it.
Well, Tom did consider it.
And he could still
he still
be
could go.
considering it. Now, Dave, I would urge you to listen to the advice of the woman on our panel, because maybe this will come in handy for you later.
No. I was
Or do I just sound weak?
right.
I would consider it.
Well, no,
Consider it, guys.
Maybe, guys.
I'll agree.
If he was kid.
A month is enough time to let everybody cool down, kind of
exactly.
rethink the situation.
Realize what you've lost or what
Yes.
you want back.
Right. I'm sure he misses her because he dropped the love on her,
Yeah.
love bomb on her. Though. So, I think that it is a bit, I don't know, kind of like her say anything moment there, like with, outside the house with like, come on to California with us, it's going to be awesome. But at the very least, I do like her going to him and, she doesn't necessarily admit fault, but she's like, I want you to be there.
That's as much, I think that's admitting fault for Cameron for sure.
Probably about as far as she can go. And,
Yeah.
and it is a definitive statement that she wants something long term, I guess.
And we
would
end the
hope.
season with her not getting what she wants, which
Yes.
all season she
Which makes a lot of sense.
demands getting what she wants, and so it almost There's
Yeah.
a small part of all of us, I think, that's like, you know what, Cameron, here you go. You're getting what you deserve in the end.
Yeah, I think it's smart on the writers to do that, because then otherwise we'd be like, well, she gets to act however she wants.
Yeah,
and
no consequences.
Exactly. So it is a good consequence for her, although I kind of hope that he gets on that plane.
I kind of do that, or at least drives or something.
Well, we did hear that he booked the big movie, so maybe, you never know. Maybe he's just doing it because he's unavailable.
Who knows? Well, we don't know if there's a season 3, but I like the actor, so it'd be cool to see.
Yeah,
him.
he's great. I just their whole relationship was just so cute, I thought.
Yes.
Yeah, well, he's good for her.
I think my mom is on the phone.
Okay, well let's just check in real quick. We have on the phone Miss Abed to give us her thoughts on the episode. This is Dave's mom, in case you didn't know.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
We're good. How are you?
Doing very good, although I'm a little bummed that this is going to be the last time you guys are on and going to be analyzing the show.
Well, we know that my mom has been our biggest fan, texting. I just spent 10 minutes texting my mom just how to call into this episode,
Hi,
but
Mom.
she figured it out.
Hi.
Mom, you want to give us
I love this show.
Good. You want to give us your thoughts on this last episode as a new fan of the series this season? You've followed us and the show from the beginning, not in season 1 either, like Mother Like Son, but just this season. And what were your thoughts from the beginning of the season to now and then the final episode?
Well, probably the reason I picked this particular time to call in because I was really agreeing with you, Dave, about
Thank you.
About Tom. I was like, yes, he didn't show up. He's not doing it. You know, you show up, you're just reinforcing Cameron the way she does things, and
Absolutely.
to just keep doing it that way. And so I was really happy. I felt like it was going to be way too clean of a cut to have everyone on board that plane. And, so a great happy ending when, I just thought that was great that he didn't. Even though it kind of left things unsettled, I thought it was much better ending.
Yeah,
It was good.
Any other, what are your final feelings on the season as a whole?
Well, I hate the fact that it's over. I'm really bummed. I almost felt a little bit at the end that it was almost like too much setting it up for the next show. It's like, oh, there's everyone walking on the plane, and there's all the people that are going to be in the next season, and there's such and such. And so I almost felt like maybe that was a little bit too much about setting it up, but but I completely love the show. I mean, to get in when I started watching it, it's like I don't get what's going on. I don't get. I'm completely lost. I don't think I'm going to be able to watch this. But I gave it, two times, and the characters I love with, and each one. Oh my gosh, Joe is fantastic with his expressions and how he gets into things. So, you really, they really built up each character, and I just had the biggest time I think with Cameron.
Yep.
It's probably the one just feel like it's kind of, I don't know, spoiled or something.
Everything.
We don't know what she's showing as her backstory, but it could be that she was spoiled as a child.
All of the above. Now, before we let you go, I just want to know, Miss Abed, what do you think of Dave's humor on our show here?
Is it your favorite?
Specifically about all the innuendos.
I'll have you know, my mom got me a shirt when I was in high school that said Steel Erection, a construction company, and it was just a
all right, well, let's hear her answer.
Steel, like Steel.
Yes.
That's good.
Go ahead, Mom.
So what is your question?
Just what do you think about Dave's humor, specifically about all the innuendo? He seems to need a date.
I love the banter back and forth and the comments that are like serious comments, but you're laughing after they've been made. It's like, yeah, that was great. And I love David's humor, and you two together, I think, have just been awesome. I mean, it's hilarious, it's funny, it's insightful.
Magic Johnson and Larry Bird.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. You guys are all excellent.
Well, thanks so much. We really appreciate you watching and commenting each week. It's been awesome. Thank you for raising Dave into like a passable human being.
Wow.
I tried my best.
You did, Mom.
You did a great job. We'll talk to you hopefully next season.
Okay. Okay, all right. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks, Mom. Talk to you later.
Where's Mom?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was sweet.
Where does Mom
That was
live?
cute. Michigan.
Yeah, I thought I heard a little accent.
Yeah,
Love that.
you picked it up.
Awesome.
It does come through.
Well, let me take a quick little break here and talk about iTunes. Folks, head over to iTunes, give us a rating and review on our show here. AfterBuzz TV has over 100 hours of content every week talking about TV, a lot of back and forth banter, maybe not quite as good as Dave and I, but we appreciate...
Don't mess with the best.
We appreciate that you'd come... Yes, do not mess with the best. We appreciate that if you go over there and give us a rating and review, give us 5 stars. If you made it to episode 10, you love us, so just give us 5 stars. Don't fight it. And we did not have any new iTunes reviews, but I do want to give a quick shout-out here to Shamir Kelly, who tweeted us today. He says, I have to say before it ends that the two of you are so funny and entertaining and have me laughing through the entire show.
Nice.
So thank you, Shamir, for doing that for us. Please head over there and do it.
That's
You know,
awesome.
they say if you can change one life, then you've really done it. So we have.
All right. I don't know if that's life-changing, but it is
We changed our life.
Life affirming for
It's a
sure.
life-
life-affirming.
I'm moved.
You've
That's
been,
two guys.
yes.
Two.
She's been touching my
Wow.
leg this whole show.
My life's work
I
is
have.
done.
I can't control
I know,
myself.
it's okay. Not many people can.
Awesome.
You're irresistible.
I know. Well, listen, you're just
Don't
preaching to what
stroke-
Isaac says every week.
Stroke his ego. So let's talk about Bosworth real quick, just because he had.
yeah.
It seems like we're like, oh, what job is he going to get? He's not going to work at Mutiny anymore, and it makes to me a lot of sense that his son would get him the job. He's kind of holding court there with his new work buddies there, telling his country stories like he does.
Yeah.
So good at those country stories.
Yeah, he's so like
good.
you don't know what he's talking about half the time, but it's just so charming. It's, it makes a lot of sense.
Well, it's interesting if you remember back. I mean, first or second episode, his son won't even allow him in his own wedding.
The mom wouldn't allow
the
him.
mom wouldn't allow him, but they had to
Right.
speak in a car, and we were
Right.
like, "Where is this going to go?" And then, so it's really been a journey. And we haven't seen his son that much, but we know behind the scenes it's been mending.
It's nice to see that come full circle because even in the car, he says, I'm not mad at you. I found a way to forgive you,
Right.
and still being involved in his life.
Well, and also not being able to, no one hiring him or being willing to hire him, and just
Right.
seeing that he's got, on his feet again.
Yeah, it seems
Which I love that he goes back to Mutiny. That made me really happy.
Yeah. Well, it was nice to see him jump on that plane and everyone cheer.
Just
because
going crazy, yeah.
He's almost like a company mascot or something. He's the guy that riles everybody out.
He's dad.
Yeah, I mean,
that.
and it falls into the overarching theme of everyone in the show is trying to find their place. I mean, all the male characters are spent this entire season figuring out where they fit. So
Yeah.
it was. But the big moment, I think, for him was seeing after... So what do you think... I mean, I think we know what it was, but we might as well verbalize. I mean, what was it, the changing moment in Boz's... In that scene where you see it in Boz's eyes that this isn't the place for me? What do you think the exact moment was?
The guy telling that story.
Yeah,
He's
but
just-
the coffee about the board, was it just like a fakeness that he didn't like, or what do you guys think?
To me, I
Yeah.
felt like it was his been there, done that, and done with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say that maybe too reminiscent of Cardiff Electric, his job there, maybe too reminiscent of like, it's the same path, and
Right.
He would be part of a thing there, or I guess a part of a puzzle there, but like with like Mutiny, he has like a real place there.
Right.
And bored. He just seemed bored.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did seem really bored.
Yeah.
I'm tuning out there like, oh gosh. Also, that guy's story was not nearly as funny as his.
And I'm thinking, what kind of job can you just throw coffee on the wall and say, is that black? And then they just don't fire you?
It's the 80s, dude.
I guess
Yeah,
it was
it's the
much
80s, man.
looser.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I know you were, 30 in the 80s?
Yes.
Yes, so you lived through it.
Yeah, I haven't aged today, though.
No, you haven't.
I do like how the show touches on like the sexism that still existed back then, and the homophobia, and I thought that was a really nice touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. So let's talk about Donna, who's not talking about her abortion. with
She's not.
Gordon. We did talk about them in the house there.
Extortion in the Playhouse.
Yeah, extortion in the playhouse.
That should have been the name of the episode.
It's going to be the spin-off.
Yes.
I would watch that show.
This is like a great web series.
think
Just
so.
3 minutes.
If Cantwell and Rogers write it, I'll watch it.
All right.
Yeah, let's see. She had the moment with Cameron. We were talking about that. Let's talk about them losing Joni. Joni runs away. She thinks she's caused the argument. While they're sitting in there in the playhouse, I thought that was a nice moment for Gordon to reassure her that, it's got nothing to do with you. Are you going to get a divorce? Do you think that she's seriously considering divorce, or is this just, it just happened want to think
I think
about
based on the words, she's like, she says, I don't want to be the person that leaves someone with a disease or something along those lines, but I will. And I think that shows her state of mind. Like, first off, I don't want to do this, but I will if you push me that far. So.
And when she was talking to Joni, she didn't say, no, Mommy and Daddy aren't getting a divorce, blah, blah, blah. She's very honest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I also thought it was interesting in that moment when Gordon was like, I didn't lose this kid on purpose. And she also didn't reassure him that she didn't think that was the case.
Yeah, well, you would think that she might have, but I guess she's not. I guess she's just not thinking about his...
She's not trusting him right now in every way possible.
There's a very good reason not to trust him.
Well, he's been untrustworthy, too, in the past, even before the affair.
Yeah, he's certainly been very unreliable before. Yeah. I do like him trying to at least reassure her that, like, this wasn't an episode. She did call him out on the whole, like, therapy thing, him not taking that seriously, really kind of getting in his business there. But is there a specific reason that we think that she didn't tell him about the abortion? Because even, on the plane there, they seem to be kind of like, okay, now they decided to go off together. They're going to try to get a blank slate there.
Yeah, and they can't have a clean slate.
Yeah, exactly. But, he says, okay, well, maybe we can try to have another. Which, by the way, Gordon, terrible timing, dude. This is not the time. It hasn't been that long. I guess it's been a month.
It is, though.
And it is a popular thing that real couples do. It's like, oh, marriage is tough. Let's have a baby.
Is that what married couples do?
That's what married couples do. I read a lot of books on what do married couples do. And that's what they solve their problems through fornicating.
Fornicating? It's not called that if you're married.
Procreating, maybe?
It's not called that if you're married?
No, fornicating is if you're not married.
Is it?
Yeah, it's out of wedlock.
Yeah.
Well, that was in the 80s. In the 2000s.
I don't think the definition's changed.
I don't think it's changed one bit.
Guys, you guys aren't reading the right definitions.
Okay. But, okay, so anyway, do we think, is there a reason that she's not going to come clean here? Because she's got ample opportunity, and she should.
She totally should.
Yeah, I guess I don't. Is it a control thing, where as long as she doesn't have, as long as she doesn't say that, she kind of has the upper hand in that, and as long as it's a secret, then she doesn't have to deal with that truth, and there's so much out of her control, in her life in this episode. Mm-hmm. And we never did we touch on Gordon's last moment? I was going to say, because Donna seemed like the most like desperate character at the end. I mean, she seemed truly almost broken and not knowing what to do. Mm-hmm. And then, but Gordon now, that spiral just hit a period too with that.
Yeah. With the Joe reveal. Yeah. Oh God, that's awful.
Well, we can get into that. I mean, Joe offers him a very solid job there.
But we knew he wouldn't take it, right?
Well, we knew he wouldn't take it because at this point he realizes his place is with his family. Yeah. He's got to save this.
Right, but Joe also, is such a spontaneous, calls him up, when we come over, let's talk about it now. Okay, well then fine, screw you, I'm going to go start my own business. I mean, he's not very,
it wasn't really a screw you.
No, but it was. Well, no, that's true. That was harsh.
That was
really harsh, you guys.
No, that's okay.
Wow,
you're friends with him and everything.
I know you're a redhead and it's like flies out of you like Spitfire, but yes.
I know that was really mean. No, but I do feel like a little impatient, or what's the right word?
Well, sure. I mean, okay. So there's a moment where
reactionary. Thank you.
Yeah, there's the moment where
fornicating.
Okay.
They were fornicating.
None of these words. There's a moment where Gordon goes to Joe's apartment.
Coitus.
No coitus there.
Coitus.
Yeah, one more time for the
we saw Donna's
finale.
Panties.
Those were shorts, Dave.
No, she took her. I saw her panties.
and Cameron had butt showing in her. This was a very ass-centric episode.
I don't remember Cameron's
her jeans were right in her butt.
Oh, I didn't see that. Wow. Good eye, Dave. Good eye.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to bring it back to the show.
That's all part of the show.
It is part of the show.
Yeah, she did wear underwear before she put on those really attractive jammies.
That was the least sexy underwear I've ever seen.
We did not see underwear. Those were shorts only.
No, I saw a half butt cheek. And then she took her bra off.
She did, but those were shorts. Those were like pajama shorts.
I hope she was wearing jockey for her, because that would make me really happy.
Okay.
I hope they were Fruit of the Loom.
Oh, yeah, Fruit of the Loom, yes. The grapes.
This is the one
I'm sorry, Isaac, because like the kids are talking.
On the inside. Go ahead, Isaac.
No, I just want to talk about Gordon going over to his apartment there.
Yes.
I like Gordon going over there to check on him. He's worried about him doing something dramatic. He's also worried about him doing something drastic.
Yeah.
Which he's in a very low place. He's like, I've never seen him like this. After Joe comes and visits him first in the garage, gives him the prom chip there from the first computer the part that they re-engineered last season. Seems like he's got some sentimental value to it, but what do we think about him, I guess, offering Gordon the job and then Gordon not taking it?
Well, he couldn't take it. I mean, there's just no way.
I thought Joe could have maybe done like a little bit better job of like understanding that, okay, maybe can we just like talk about, let's have coffee, or like it seemed like he was always like, let me come over, yes, and then I mean, I guess they both went on such polar directions in that conversation.
Gordon shut him down pretty soundly,
shut him down pretty hard.
And then he was all alone, which is something, well, I mean, that's also the last shot of the thing, is him standing alone in that huge office space, but it seems like, you know, he has that line where he's like, you know, where he goes back to Bondham after he had the first meeting where they ridiculed him, called him like, I don't know, something terrible. I wrote it down. I can't see it. But it was just, you know, him trying...
the one where they invited him in out of morbid curiosity?
First they invited him in morbid curiosity.
Psychopath. They call him a psychopath.
Psychopath, which was pretty rough. Because he did, like he says, like, you know, you try to play by the rules, you think everything's going to work out fine, and then it doesn't. So then he goes in there with someone else's idea again, and then offers them, you know, this thing. But I think that he genuinely did want to be in partnership with Gordon again.
It's been the theme this entire season. I mean, nothing is new this episode. I mean, every episode, Joe is trying to go to somebody with a good idea and trying to be a good guy, and he's getting shut down or effed over each time.
And it's hard to wonder how genuinely well-meaning Joe is. I mean, he seems well-meaning, and then the way he kind of backpedals or backtracks or re-navigates something is not always the best route.
Well, he gave that speech to that guy. He got called a psychopath. He's like, you know what? I've been trying to look out for something along the lines. I've been looking out for everybody, and then I realized like maybe everybody's just looking out for themselves, or who's looking after me, or something along those lines. So saying,
that's the whole thing about him trying to play the rules.
Yeah, he's saying like I tried to do some things authentically, but then I realized not everybody else is doing that.
Well, Gordon makes a solid point. Like, look, you are a good guy, but you make it really hard to see. You know, like it's hard to tell that you're a good guy.
It is hard to tell. I mean, that's why Joe's such an interesting character.
Yeah, and that's the way that Lee Pace plays him there. So he sells the thing for $10 million.
Crazy.
Man, antivirus, I guess that's where that came from.
All in a floppy disk.
Which makes me think, like, when you buy an antivirus for your computer, is that just marketing, or do we actually really need it?
Good. Well, I've had viruses take down my computer.
Same.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a real thing, but it's just interesting that was a more booming business than the other business that he was in.
Yeah, you would think before the age of the internet, how many viruses could even get into your computer that well?
I mean, actually, you couldn't get a lot of them, but it's on the horizon.
Yeah.
Before we talk to you, Megan, about what you're doing in your fabulous acting career, we got a Back to the Future reference finally.
That was great.
1985. I've been waiting for it. Thank you, Cantwell and Rogers. That was really nice. But
it was just barely like it.
Bodie was
by.
talking about it as they were getting on the plane.
Like if he's in love with a guy named Marty, if she's in love with a guy named Marty, right? Didn't he say something like that?
Yeah.
I heard you guys yelling. I didn't know what it was about.
I think yelling is a kind of a strong way of putting it. Don't you think that's a little strong?
Seems like a leap to me. So, Megan, before we get out of here, talk to us about what you got going on.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Isaac. I'm actually in the middle of doing a live sketch show right now in West Hollywood.
Awesome.
It's called Clam Bake Weenie Roast.
Nice.
And
a cooking show.
It is. That's exactly. Yep. How did you know? Have you seen it?
I love clams.
What about weenies?
No, I'll leave that to Isaac.
So I started. My friend Trent Ward and I. We wrote it. He wrote most of it. I wrote a couple of sketches. It runs about an hour. It's sketches and videos that we've done that we're in. I play about, I would say 12 different characters in the course of an evening, including Spock, if you guys are Star Trek fans.
I wish you could have played each of those during today's show.
I will. I'll do that. If you have me back, I'll do it next time.
Deal.
We would love to have you back. You also got a couple things on IMDb. I saw projects coming up.
Of course. Max Steel. I'm going to be in Max Steel. It's coming out this summer.
Right.
This summer. Wow, where did July go? It's coming out, I think, at the end of this month.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
It just hit me how fast this summer is going.
Yes.
Yeah, it's almost over.
So,
Just like life.
Just like life, it's almost
over every day.
Do you have anything else?
No, that's it for now. Come see the show.
Let's predict about if there is a season 3.
When are we going to hear?
Don't know.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
What's happening?
Predictions.
This is how we predict. We don't know if there's going to be a season 3. Last year, I believe it was like maybe a month or so after the season wrapped that they announced that there was going to be a season 2, so hopefully we'll hear that. But Dave, what do you think, season 3?
Well, one of our guests, I won't say which one, I remember saying that this season, I believe, was even lower than last season, but that it all kind of depends on the DVR and online numbers. So it'll probably take, I would say they need to count all that up and see how all that is. I really like this season.
Me too.
I think it deserves another
Definitely
season.
does, especially since they Laverne and Shirley'd it and moved to California.
But I think they could do a better job marketing the show. I think people, as I did, do not know what this show is about, and the title does not give it away.
It doesn't. That's true.
You just don't get it. So, and Lee Pace is great. So,
I mean, Mad Men did take some time to find its legs. AMC was willing to give that show a shot, and look where that turned out. And I think that's a similar thing here with this show.
It has a similar vibe for sure, I think.
Yeah. And look, if it's solid writing, then let's give it another shot. And that's kind of, I think, what they did this season. So
AMC always does really great stuff, and I love this show.
Yeah,
I hope it has another season.
And there is a void left there by Mad Men being over, Breaking Bad.
That's true. Good point.
So I feel like this is a show worthy of a season 3. What do you think is going to happen next season?
Well, I mean, I know what I want to have happen.
Well, let's hear it.
The Good Will Hunting moment where Tom shows up.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Great.
I don't know. I feel like Joe's going to be up to some shenanigans.
Shenanigans?
Don't you think? I mean, because even when he doesn't try to, he's up to shenanigans. I mean, they do set it up pretty well for them to be out there and to have a season 3 for sure.
They certainly do. I think that Marty McFly is going to come back in the time machine and reverse the whole season so they can.
Your prediction of JSR, them fleshing that out, did not come true.
JGL,
Will Doc Brown be there too? In your prediction, is Doc Brown there?
He better be there. No, I think
will
that.
Will it be 1.21 gigawatts?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I think that the Gordon Donna thing is going to end next season.
Yeah, that's going to go south.
You think
bad.
Yeah, it's not going to. This isn't a good fix for them. Just to go and have another baby.
California doesn't solve your problems.
No,
solved all my problems.
Also, most
from Michigan.
Yes.
Yeah. Also,
Did you have problems in Michigan?
So many cornstalk problems.
Most of their money's gone, so that's going to happen.
Problems in Grand Haven.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I guess we're ending the show.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
I also want to mention that Kevin Ross, who we had in here, edited this episode and did a fine job.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Great job to him.
I think that's going to do it for us.
No tears.
No tears. Thanks so much for Megan coming in here today.
Thanks, Megan. Great
having me, guys. That was fun.
Yes.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Also, thanks to Josh Hoover for joining us this season, Kevin Ross, and John Vitale, who joined us. Dave, where can people find you online?
You can find me, Go Blue Dave on Twitter, Dave Abed on Instagram. You can find me every Saturday at the Next Door Lounge doing a murder mystery show. We got a new murder mystery coming for Halloween, so if you've already seen the show, come again. And you can find Isaac and I for the new season of Narco. You want to push that?
I was maybe going to get there when it's my turn, Dave.
Get it. It's your turn now.
No, it's Megan's turn.
Megan, go for it.
I want to hear what you guys are doing.
No, we want to hear where people can follow you online.
They can find me at Megan_Hayes. That's my Twitter handle. And on Instagram, I'm Megan Hayes Actor.
Yeah.
And you can also find out about the sketch show at megatrent.com.
Awesome. You can follow me on Twitter at Isaac Johnson, Instagram, The Isaac Johnson. I've also got a YouTube channel, The Isaac Johnson, where you can check out my music video. And you can also catch me and Dave doing the Narcos review of the new Netflix series about Pablo Escobar. A lot of coke. Dave and I will not be doing coke, but the show's about making coke.
We're going to do milk powder to symbolize it, but not
you
coke.
Can do whatever you like, Dave. I won't be doing
this banter remains, right?
It remains.
If we don't kill each other first.
We'll see. But thanks so much for joining us this season, and hopefully we'll see you for season 3.
All right. Peace out. Be good.
Night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.